If you want to learn how to organize your content, you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Sangeetaangelakumar, and if you're here, you're probably you're probably my family or friends who are forced to watch my videos. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Baya. Hi, George. But if you're not like family and friends and you're here to just find out how to make the most of your hustling and bustling and all that, well, you've come to the right place. Let me introduce myself for the people who don't know me. I'm Sangeeta Angela Kumar, and I do a lot of things. I was born in a fantastic family who was multitasking from the beginning. And I learned a lot from them, and I learned a lot from my experience in boarding school. I went to a school called Woodstock, and I also went to college in St. Xavier's. And all these experiences really enhanced me and taught me how to spread my wings and do not just one thing, but several things if I could. Things do get overwhelming, and I'm here to tell you that you can streamline your process and work with what helps you. Now, I'm here to also share with you what helps me, because I recently came across a app called Millernote. Now, Millernote is a browser app, and I really like this app because it's helped me put my work visually, but I'm going to talk about that more. Let me talk to you a little bit about what I do. So, I was a writer, I was a photographer.
Hello and welcome to Night Out. This is where we take you to the hottest spots, the best bashes, and give you all the lowdown on what party people are up to. That's coming up on the show tonight, so here's the quick list.
I became an editor, I became a content creator, and then I became a wife and a mom. So there are many facets in my life that I have to divide. Like budgeting or planning or YouTubing or podcasting or creating art every day. Normally, I used to just write my notes in a book. I'm a writer, so I like writing. I'm born in 79, so I like writing books and I like the feel of paper. But what was happening was that I mean, honestly, I just started running out of books. And then it was hard to keep track. I couldn't keep going back to my books and saying, oh, this is what I learned. And so I did find the need to kind of jot down rough storyboards or rough ideas of what I wanted to say in my videos. Although for this video, I have not storyboarded anything. I have a rough script and a rough idea of what I want to speak, but not specific to jot down every single frame, because I'm otherwise I look very fake. That said, what I liked about Millernote, and I really discovered it during my planning and prepping for my Skillshare class, the latest one that I did. So what happened was I had so much content because last year I had done this journal with a bird every single month. So I had at least 12 time lapses. I had so many things I wanted to say about how to draw a bird. So I had to break things down into a script. So a lot of times the way I make my classes is that I work backwards. Like, I know what I want to tell the students, and then I work backwards about breaking my lessons into plans. So sometimes it helps to have like a visual means where I can say, okay, this is my first class 1, class 2, class 3, because like Skillshare is very specific about what it wants. Like, they have a format. There's a like an intro video, then there's a video talking about project, then there's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and then a conclusion. So there were many facets that I needed to organize, not just that. Now, when it comes to my podcasting, earlier I would just randomly podcast without having any sort of order, and but I found that I was running out of things to say, and then randomly in the middle of the night, I would wake up with an idea. So I needed to have a place, like one place, to have all my ideas, because I discovered that I had ideas on my phone. Like, I use notes on my phone. So I had one idea in my notes, another idea somewhere else, another idea in my book. So I needed to consolidate my ideas into one format. So I remember when I started using Millernote, I was able to consolidate my ideas, and I got the whole season 7 planned. So I've actually got my whole season pre-planned, which has never happened with me. Like, I know what I'm going to say here. I know what I'm going to talk about here. I know what I'm going to talk about here, and that kind of relieves me because it means I don't spend the whole day worrying about what I'm going to do. I have a plan. I know that, okay, today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about this. So I can set out 1 hour without really thinking about too much. I can get busy with my cooking or busy with my errands, busy with cleaning the fridge, whatever I need to do in the day. I'm busy doing that, right? So I use it for my podcast. I use it for my YouTube videos. I'm not very organized with my YouTube videos, but this video that I'm doing right now was scheduled, not for the date that I'm doing it. So it's I don't think it needs to be regimental. I think it's nice to have an idea of what you want to do, and it helped me store like a script, like a basic script of what I wanted to talk about. It gives me a nice. I do have a script for this, by the way, and I'm totally not following it because I still struggle with YouTube videos and scripts. I tried the teleprompter app, and I just feel like I look like a bit cockeyed. So I still have to work on that for myself. But Miller Note has really helped me in terms of that. It's even helped me with budgeting. I never was good at budgeting, but now what's happened is like I have a section called the budget and then what we actually spent. So I really enjoy these visual ways of planning. If you're not a visual person, then this may not be for you, but I am very visual. It's really fun for organizing yourself and having, again, like I said, it has links. So what happens is when I know I have to do a newsletter, I dump all the like my month's content into the newsletter section, so I know that, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do. So it gives me a great sense of what I need to do during the month or during the week or during the day. So that's a quick sum up of what Milanote is for me. I don't know if it'll work out for you, but it's really helped me in my content creation and really streamlining my hustling because, see, I'm not just like a YouTube creator. I'm an artist. I'm a author. Even when I was writing my book, the recent one that I just finished, Zoe's Window Seat, I knew, like, I made a rough storyboard and I made like a plan of page 1, page 2, page 3. What is the illustration? I love checklists. So it was fun to have a checklist like, okay, do the illustration, write the design, like, so it helps me. So, especially for people who do a lot of stuff. The only thing I miss is Milanote doesn't have a reminder or a date sync. So it won't sync with your Google Calendar or your iCal yet. I hope they will have this update soon. I really, really do, because it'll really help me. The second part of this video is talking about how I do set reminders for myself. So again, this I've done recently. What I did was I made like a monthly plan and a weekly plan and a daily plan. So now, like, for example, on Tuesdays I podcast, on Mondays I post a YouTube video. So it gives me a great place to, I mean, I haven't used a book in a very long time. I think the books are missing me, but it's good because otherwise you have to sit and buy books like every time they finish, and then you don't know where they are, and then they collect dust. As you can see, I have like lots of books behind me collecting dust. So yeah, check it out. It may help you. I'm also going to share a few tips and tricks for you as in terms of your workspace. As a creative person, I don't like limiting myself to one workstation. A lot of people do that. So my first tip would be, don't limit yourself to one workstation. Of course, if you only like one workstation, then do what works for you. But what I do is, even though we have a tiny apartment, what I do is I have multiple workstations. So I have, like, right now I'm sitting in the balcony because there is light. We don't really get too much light into our house, so I love sitting in the balcony because it lights up my day. It gives me an idea that it is daytime, and it, if I want to do some illustration, if I want to write a script, it's fun to do it here. The moment it becomes like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, when it gets dark, I move into the studio area if I'm going to edit or if I'm going to work on the computer. So that's my second workstation, where it's my computer. Behind that, I've recently set up a table which is just filled with cameras and equipment and stuff. And that is also, if I want to draw and not worry about the big computer, I have a space to draw there. And recently, if you've been seeing, that's the space that I've been drawing, shooting, the one with the fancy LED behind it. So that's my little table for just working. It's not for computer or anything. Okay. Then I also move into my bedroom for when I'm watching tutorials, because it's more relaxed and the TV is there. So it's fun to kind of sit in and, kind of put my legs up and watch something and draw. So I actually have one, two, three, four workstations. It works for me and it's fun. So it's kind of opened me up in terms of not limiting myself. So if a multiple workstation works for you, then go for it and do it. If only one workstation works for you, then stick to one workstation. But it's important to have a space. So I would say a lot of space. A lot of women don't get that space. And I will tell you that initially I was so obsessed with giving my husband a space and my daughter a space that I forgot myself, and I would just work wherever there was a cushion or wherever there was space. But I realized that having a dedicated space, even if it's a shared space, like I shared this space with my daughter. In the morning, she uses it. In the afternoon, she's watching TV, so I come and use it. So that's fine. You can have a shared workspace, but there's a rule in our house that the person who uses the space has to clean up before another person comes. So we have that because we have to work together as a family, as people living together. It's like an office, actually. I've realized that I've made my home into like an office way before work from home was popular. Timer Zindabad. I use the timer, the phone timer that's, like on the phone all the time. I use it to cook my food primarily, but I use it for other things as well. So what happens is if I know that I'm making like some food and it's going to take 45 minutes to make, I put on my timer so I know that 45 minutes I can do whatever else I want. So whether it's watching some TV while I'm cooking or doing a tutorial or doing some artwork, I put a timer for doing the work that I need to do to help me stay a little more organized and so I can multitask. But be kind to yourself. Now I said it with a but because I think when you're hustling, when you're working hard, when you're really trying to do so many things, you are not kind to yourself. So do everything, work hard, hustle, work like crazy, but be kind to yourself. Many times we burn out. Like recently, when my mom passed away, I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to take calls. I didn't want to message. And I still am not very comfortable speaking on the phone, or because I don't want to expect people to understand what I'm at. So I kind of am taking a step back to kind of be very like talkative and vivacious, because sometimes I don't feel vivacious. Sometimes I just want to think and be pensive and think about my mom or thinking about life. So you be kind to yourself, because I've realized that when it comes to work, sometimes we burn out. And even if it means like I know that I may stir some trouble when I say this, but if you're a woman who is cooking and you are exhausted and burnt out with cooking, take a break. It is better for you to take a break than for you to not cook ever again. I took a break for many, many days, and I really I appreciate my family for supporting me during that time, because I was just not inspired, and every time I cooked, I remembered my mom, and I would break down and cry. So I realized that I needed to kind of take a step back. Slowly, I'm beginning to cook, and it's been 6 months. Like I cooked like once a week maybe earlier, and now I'm beginning to cook kind of every day or maybe every other day. But be kind to yourself, even when it comes to your YouTube content or your podcasts or your art, whatever you're doing in life, teaching. Take a break. Your fans, the people who are part of your community, will understand. I don't have fans and I don't really have a community, but I do know that I learned this in Filmfare. No, I learned this in Archtak, where the world will keep churning even if you aren't there to turn it. Like someone once said long time ago that the world turned because of people like me, and I totally agree. But no, the truth is that the world will keep turning even if I take a day off. And it's important for you to know that. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but sometimes we feel like if we stop, everything will crumble. Well, let me tell you something, that if you stop and take a breather for 5 minutes, nothing will crumble. Nothing will crumble. It takes a lot for the world to crumble, and uh, everyone will understand. So it is possible to burn out from the kitchen. It is possible to burn out from art. It is possible to burn out from podcasting. Like, I did podcast for a very long time. I decided that I was going to be erratic with podcasting. I haven't blogged consistently for so many years, but those who are with you, those who follow you, will follow you regardless of whether you're regular or not. I know a lot of people talk about consistency, and that's great. But if you're not feeling consistent, then don't be consistent. Like I said, those who love you will understand. Those who don't love you are not even worth like giving time to. I mean, not being mean, but like I feel like we are very hard on ourselves, and a lot of us are not kind to ourselves. And I've realized with time that we need to be kind to ourselves. And if you're grieving, grieve. If you're tired, sleep. If you're tired, just binge watch. Whatever you need to do to get into the headspace to feel peace in your head or feel peace in your heart, do it, because life is too short. Life is really too short to not be kind to yourself. Be comfortable. That's one of the things that a lot of people differ on. Now, if wearing clothes helps you, then do. But if wearing, and I'm not saying don't wear clothes. If that works for you, then cool. But if wearing pajamas like PJs or a nightie or something makes you feel more comfortable, do that. A lot of people have these different rules of you must wear normal clothes when you work and then change. Sometimes it helps people do that because maybe their brains need that. And if that is you, that's great. That is the opposite of me, because what happens with me is the moment I start wearing clothes, I get like, oh, I have to do something. Like I get stressed out, and that stress is not really good for me. So the only time I wear non PJs is when I'm shooting. Like, I don't look like this normally when I'm at home. I'm like without makeup, with my hair up, with tie, like and wearing like a ganji, and and of course I can't like come on camera like that. But that's actually one of the challenges when my husband decides to do behind the scenes. I have to get ready because it's not gonna look very great, because I'm feeling comfortable. So my tip would be to be comfortable when you're working and do what you need to do. If it means getting dressed, wearing some makeup, and making you feel fresh and nice, to be able to do work from home, go ahead and do it. If you feel like just being in your PJs and that will be far better, then be in your PJs. I prefer being in my PJs when I'm working. Of course, when I'm shooting, I dress up and I wear some earrings and I feel nice. Like, I have recently divided my cupboard in like out clothes and home clothes, and the home clothes is actually much more. But again, be comfortable. The key is not wear your PJs, but the key is really be comfortable in what you're wearing. Number 4 is no dilly dallying. This is taken from one of my daughter's shows that she watches, which even I watch, Storybots. But there's a guy who's like the manager, and he says no dilly dallying. I say no dilly dallying because I feel like you should respect your work. And if you're not giving 100% to your work, then don't give any time to your work. If your work deserves your respect, it deserves your 100%. And it's not like like what you do should matter to you. And if you're procrastinating, then just take that day to step back and do something else. I feel like you must respect your work enough to give it your 100% and not procrastinate. So if you feel like you're dilly dallying during the day, stop what you're doing, do something else that you want to do, and don't be like half into your work. I know it sounds a bit strange when I say this, but if you're procrastinating your work, just stop. because procrastination is really, I feel like, the cancer of work. You're not here, you're not there. So stop it, go watch some TV, enjoy yourself, do something else with your time, but don't disrespect your work. I really feel strongly about that. Play is important, unwinding is important. I want to end this list of 5 things that really help, that I've done to enhance my workspace, by talking about unwinding and playing. It's so important to enjoy yourself. And sometimes it gets hard, especially when you're working from home, especially when you're creative, especially when you're a mom or a wife or domesticated or whatever you call it. Sometimes we don't realize that we need to take a second to just relax. This isn't just about being kind to yourself, it's just about doing some activity that gives you joy, especially if your activities don't give you joy. See, most of the activities I do give me immense joy, most of them. But sometimes it gets stressful. Like today, it was very, very stressful for me because I had to clean up the fridge before these orders were supposed to come. And everything was, really like haphazard. And after I finished everything that I had to do, I took a second to just breathe. And I didn't watch TV, I didn't do anything. I just lied down and I didn't take a nap because I generally don't nap, but I just took a second to rest my back, rest myself, and I felt better. So, unwinding is really important because there's so much we're doing. Like, I would say, plan your day, plan your week in a way that to give you time to unwind. Sometimes I unwind with watching a show. Sometimes I unwind by drawing. Sometimes I unwind by cooking. Sometimes unwind by cleaning. Oh man, I have those days where I need to clean to unwind. So, not always, if you would see the state of my place, our place, but plan time for unwinding, because working from home, especially for creative people, because you do something that's already fun, it's sometimes hard to top that, right? But it's really important to infuse your day with moments of joy that really help you. I wouldn't say escape. I think embrace the joy. That's a better way of saying. So anyway, so basically that's my little take on multitasking and how I have done a few things to enhance my workspace, enhance my multitasking. I do use, just to wrap up, I do use reminders, and I do use the timer, and I do use like the calendar app to send me reminders about what I need to do during the day and during the week. Millernote is an app that really helps me. It may help you. It For me, like I showed you, it gives a nice visual, linkable set. So again, you're welcome to go in the description and click on that link and get yourself, I think, I don't know the limit that you have, but check it out. It might help you. It really helped me, so I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, keep creating, but take some time for yourself and enjoy, and don't feel pressure. Life is too short for feeling stress and pressure for the things we love doing. And if you're, unfortunately, if you're stuck doing something you hate, then make time for fun, make time for play, make time for unwinding. It'll really help you and really enhance your life. So that's about it. This is my methodology of multitasking. This is what I do. These are the apps I use. These are the few tips that I apply in my life to make my life easy. So if you look at my social media and say, whoa, she does a lot, trust me when I tell you there's a lot of order to it. There's a lot of disorder also, but most of the time there is streamlining happening, there is planning happening, there's pre-planning happening. So I take a lot of time to plan my things, plan my scripts, say what I want to say, think about it, especially when it comes to classes. Like, for example, if I get an idea, I take about 1 or 2 months to formulate my idea for the next classes. Like, I have in my head, for my Skillshare classes, I have 2 classes which I'm processing now. So, like, for example, I'm going to be doing a class on how you can illustrate and write and publish your own books. So yesterday what I did was I started exporting my time lapses of all the artwork that I did for my latest book. A big part of my day is also creating space, because as you create things, memories go, like your hard drive memory goes, updating space, deleting files. This is all that I do in a day, and it keeps me on my toes. I think that if I had a regular job, I may not be uh, able to do all this. So I'm very grateful that I'm at home where I can work from home and create content from home. So again, don't be overwhelmed when you're listening to me. I am a crazy ambitious person who likes to do a lot of things, not just cooking and cleaning and organizing the house. I love doing a lot more than that. But I hope this has helped you, and I hope this helps you in your journey. Do feel free to comment and tell me what you do to keep yourself organized. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.